Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to review The Girl on the Train. I'm excited, stay with me. Based on the novel of the same name authored by Paula Hawkins, this is a second time screen adaptation of this book. The first one starred brilliant Emily Blunt as the lead character. This book, this book's movie rights were sold even before the book was published. So there was a lot of potential in this story, which was and had appealed to a large section of people, and therefore we have two versions of the movie based on the book. So, but the Bollywood version differs quite a bit. There is a new thread of storyline added, which leads to later new plot twists, which is not there in the original movie nor in the book. Now let's look at the plot. Meera Kapoor is a divorced lawyer and an alcoholic. She suffers from amnesia, which are induced by blackout episodes that she has after sessions of binge drinking, and she does not remember what happens in those blackout sessions. So, she's a mentally fragile young woman who is in acute pain after losing her unborn child in a car accident and her husband to another woman. She takes a train ride every day to London City, and while on this ride, she crosses the house she lived earlier in the past with her ex husband, which is now inhabited by a new couple. She gets instantly drawn towards the wife, the woman played by Aditi Rao Haidari, and her character's name is Nusrat. And Meera's character gets drawn towards Nusrat, and she fantasizes about her ideal life and wonders how could somebody be so happy. And she has those pangs of sometimes jealousy, sometimes a sense of loss, and she grieves what she could not have and what Nusrat has. Until one day when she suddenly accidentally stumbles upon a scene happening in on Nusrat's porch while the train is passing, and she sees something which leads Meera into a frenzy. She becomes unhinged, she loses her mental stability, and that leads to a series of events which look pretty bad for her. She ends up binge drinking again and wakes up the next day, finds herself covered in bruises, and cannot remember what happened. The rest of the movie tracks to what actually happened during that time, with plot twists and turns that viewers encounter as the movie. Alright, so what did I like about it? I loved Pariniti Chopra's performance. She makes a solid comeback and is convincing as a woman who is dealing with awful lot in her life. Aditi Rao Haidari as Nusrat is delicate and expresses vulnerability with those big beautiful brown eyes, and it's always so good to watch her on screen. Kriti Kulhari as the cop is pretty much adequate, but I would definitely like to say this, that I find her expressions ever so consistent, and whether it be web series or here in a full length feature film, the dialogue delivery, the way she carries herself is something which has now, at least to me, appears a little monotonous. Perhaps she could take care of that. Avinash Tiwari as a gaslighting husband delivers a restrained performance for most part. However, towards the end, where the final confrontation between his character and Mira's character takes place, I found that a little too dramatic for my liking. I also love how this movie passes the Bechdel test at least a few times. Maybe it touches there, gives it a nod, which is a high praise for any Hindi movie, because I cannot remember the last time I saw a movie which would classify or Bechdel test could be applied to it. Bechdel test is basically, people who do not know, in fiction it's a measure of the element of feminism in literature, where two women are interacting with one another without discussing, talking about any man in any capacity whatsoever. And therefore, when Mira's character is drawn towards Nusrat, and this is all about life, ambition, hope, grief, loss, without without any hint towards an involvement of of a man, at least remotely. I think it's a strong nod to the Bechdel test, in my opinion. And yeah, it is something that should be mentioned. I also love how Pariniti's character wields the gun. Most of the time in Hindi cinema, when we have seen women wielding guns, they're either jittery, extremely nervous, they do not know what to do with it. But here's a character who is very calm, composed, in control, and she's very nice. Stay back. Don't get near me. And a very no nonsense character, which I absolutely, absolutely loved. And somebody also please give an award to the costume designer of this movie, who got bang on the casual attire people wear on streets in the metropolitan cities all across the world. And not some trench coat thrown over a shimmery dress that Bollywood has often shown us and made us believe that that is what people actually do, which is not the case. Either it is a shimmery dress or a neon or pink or green. I remember Katrina Kaif's character from Jab Tak Hai Jaan, who was wearing neon or pink dresses on a work day. I mean, that is that's not how people dress. And this one here, Pariniti has been dressed really, really well. The cinematography is beautiful. The way the film is lit is something which is appropriate for a thriller, suspense, and also captures the mood very well. And some of the shots are absolutely gorgeous. The movie is definitely worth your time. Stories told from the point of view of unreliable narrators through a lot of twists and turns which are completely unexpected, and that is what makes them fun to watch. And you are invested in Mira's character, uh, but you don't sympathize with her straight away. You basically uh, begin by not liking her actually, but as layers are peeled off and you get to know her side of the story, you learn to understand her and empathize with her. And Pariniti has been able to deliver that dilemma, that pain, that hurt that a woman goes through because of circumstances and because of people around her, is something which it really she definitely deserves acknowledgement and credit for her performance in this one. And I sincerely hope like that I sincerely hope that, like Emily Blunt, she also gets her due share. Dealing with suburb urban life problem, which is the theme of the novel, and which is the same thing carried on in the books. Okay, dealing with the suburban life problems where families are mostly absent is something which we often don't see in Indian cinema, but it which is not a common format, because at some point or the other, some family, some relative, some friend are always there who would help catch your fall. But for most Indians living abroad, it's a sad reality, and work they sometimes have no support system, no friends even, and how they cope up with their life situations and curveballs that are thrown is a is it has been treated really well. And The Girl on the Train is a solid feminist literature, and the movies can be safely categorized as a rightful ode to women and their struggles all across the world. Watch this one for Pariniti Chopra. Hope you liked the review. Please keep coming back for more content. And if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. People who are already part of the family, thank you very much. And subscribe before you leave. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook if you like. The links would be down there in the description box and also towards the end of the video. So, hope to see you guys around. And this is me signing off. Goodbye and take care of yourselves.